guys, and welcome back to round number 6. A very quick break, like I said it was going to be, as we jump into this game, and it's going to be the Whitebeard Mirror. Going to be interesting to see who takes this one. I'm assuming it's going to be Whitebeard. Now that we're getting to some of the top tables, both players obviously being 5-0, my opinion, Ryan, is that we are going to start seeing a lot more red.
Yeah, it's definitely a given, especially after the results of the last regional. We saw an all-red top 8 take place here in Melbourne. So players have had the chance to see those decks and see what went the distance and made it into the top 16 and mold their decks around that.
And it looks like we got Johan versus Elliott, two players we have not had on the stream, so it's always great to get new players jump in. I think tomorrow when we do jump into the top 16, we'll probably start seeing a few more of these players return based on, how high they are placing now. And this is going to be a bit of an interesting one because, again, there's multiple ways to play Whitebeard, right? So depending on how these players have built their decks and what they believe was the better option for them and more comfortable style of play, because everyone is a little bit different. As we can see already, Elliott having to go first, not playing anything. Johan going second, also using 2 and not playing anything himself. So very stock standard turn 1. From both players might either be that they didn't see a Nami Searcher or they're just not running that package.
Yeah, it does look like there's a Moby Dick in Johan's hand at the top. So he opts to take this first 6k swing. It's going to put him 1 life behind Elliott.
And this is the thing with Whitebeard, right? You don't really want to be taking attacks from your opponent, but it is a lot harder to defend against when your opponent also has 6k attack.
Yeah, it does kind of put it back onto an even playing field as opposed to a 6k into a 5k leader. But we see Elliott, opting to defend the life for these 6k attacks.
And I think that's the game plan here. I mean, I have seen a lot of Whitebeard played now. I haven't actually played it too much myself, but the usual strat is that you're going to take your own life anyway. You don't really want to be taking swings that your opponent gives you as well, and to just double up.
Yeah, it is a bit of a dance, and that's where the math comes into it of which attacks you want to be countering out of and which ones you're happy to take. But we see both players just trying to establish a strong board here. Robin's not going to provide too much value throughout the course of this game. Being a 4K, it's difficult to attack into the Whitebeard leader, and there just isn't much cards that you really want to be able to remove with Robin because neither players are going to be playing anything that's really, 3K or below.
And both players obviously opting the skillless. I mean, I think that's a stock standard now, regardless of which way you want to play Whitebeard. So we're going to start seeing them get to a point where it's going to be body swinging at bodies and who's going to be able to outlast the other, right? Like, you really don't want to be swinging with these bodies because now you see your opponent also having their own vanillas on the board that can freely swing into you if you make the first strike.
Yeah, we'll probably still see a couple of turns of swing into life until we get to a point where they're on 1 or 2 life. And from there, you kind of need to start protecting your life a little bit more with the cards in hand. But both of them are going to have huge hand sizes. We haven't really seen that many cards committed onto the field. So being able to draw a card and take a card from life each turn, there's no doubt that both players are going to have a large amount of counter power available.
And just this leader check again, it's so stock standard from every deck now, not just Whitebeard. It's just always swing with your leader first, see if your opponent's going to do something with it and if they're going to take it or not or get a card out of hand. And a very quiet turn for Johan, ends up swinging with his leader. Elliott does combo out of it, plays a Kingdu, and then passes turn again. Doesn't feel like it's the right time to swing with Atmos. Knows that it will probably be KO'd next turn if he does decide to put it in rest mode.
Mm-hmm.
And there you go. Elliott is running the Nami as well. Obviously hasn't seen it in the first turn, but offset. This is the best time to use it, and I think that's a. Is that
It's a radical beam.
Radical beam? Yeah, I thought so. Now Elliott's still leaving about 5 Don available, or maybe 6 actually, because he did go first. So it's going to be interesting to see how he wants to kind of like play his turn out now. Leader already at 6, like I said. King do as well. Going to be able to swing if need be, and again another 6K check. See what you can get out of your opponent. See what you can kind of force out, but.
Yeah, and Johan's not going to 9 Don next turn, so you're not in any kind of threat of a Whitebeard SR coming down to kind of protect that life. So depending on how this attack goes, yeah, and a time to get it out, you probably won't see King Juice swing, I wouldn't think.
Nah, I don't believe so either, but he's still leaving himself open with 6 Don here for Elliott. Might have nothing to play in hand, might be just trying to figure out what the best option is, and we already did see a Radical Beam obviously come out from that search. The question is, when is the right time to use it?
Yeah. We'll probably see that Luffy skillless come down.
Yeah, tapping 4.
Yeah, a little bit awkward to kind of see. He still does have 2 Don left in active mode.
Yeah, so just separating that now and
a bit more clearer. Yep.
Grabbing the other life. So
2.
Yeah, both plays on 2 life now. Johan actually with his turn intact here, but again, you don't really want to be swinging with these vanillas right now unless you feel like you can go for game, right?
Mm-hmm.
You put yourself in such a bad position.
Yeah, who overcommits
exactly
is just not able to get there first, and then they kind of generally just will lose on the clapback if they're not able to close out the game. Both players still comfortable amount of cards in hand. And Johan's going to go down to 1 life after this turn with still a decent sized board on Elliott's field. So Johan almost needs to start leaving some Don available for his event cards here, and won't be getting full value out of all the Don that he has.
Well, Johan has 8 Don here, so he can't even play the Whitebeard SR if he really wanted to, which would be amazing right now. But he's just a turn behind being able to play it. Elliott will be able to play that on his next turn. And if he does manage to have that in his hand, that is also a very, very strong turn for Elliott to kind of go off. But we are going to see now what Johan's plan is. He separates his Don, and this is sometimes a telltale sign, right, to your opponent. He's separated 3, 2, and I think it's 4, 3 in the other one. Decides against everything anyway, and he grabs all 8 back into his hand.
Scrap that plan. Scrap the plan.
Okay, instead he's spreading them apart again. So 2, 5, and 1.
Yeah, I think we'll see the Moby Dick come down. He's kind of been holding off, I think, for a little while. But it is still a lot of value by playing that card for 2 Don, just being able to give everything the extra 2K once he meets that life requirement.
And it just depends if he's got anything else available in hand that he thinks that is a better play than Moby Dick. But yeah, he's getting that heat check with his leader, just trying to get a card out of Elliott's hand. And not really much investment from both players, are they? They're just really just setting up their own board, making sure that they can get ready, and there's the Moby Dick. Yeah,
interesting that, this card, the Bartholomew. So, it's not a heavily utilized blocker, but what it does do is if you've got the Don underneath it, I believe it, on your opponent's turn, it gives it an extra 2K. So it becomes a 4K blocker, I believe, which means that it can't be hit by the 9-drop SR.
Ah, I see.
So it's 2 Don effect. Yeah.
It is a bit of an expensive...
It is, yeah, definitely. It's a big Don investment to try and mitigate that one attack. But,
I guess if you've got nothing else, right?
on field at this point either. And yeah, we're starting to see Elliott attack with his character cards now. So Johan going to be able to comfortably clean up this field the next turn. Now that he's getting the boost from the Moby Dick, if he's able to get through this turn without losing a whole lot of cards from hand, he can really put some pressure on Elliott.
And Elliott looks like he's really trying to bait out the blocker, right? Or if he doesn't get the blocker, then he will start getting some cards out of Johan's hand.
And I think that's what he wants. He wants to get the event cards out early, and then from there, oh, and there's the 9 drop.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is an AK swing into the life. Johan choosing to protect, which means that I would dare say we're probably going to see his own Whitebeard SR. Otherwise, you just take that life. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think that's the situation that he's in now. He's kind of defended everything that he needs to. Johan also knows that these vanillas are going to have to start swinging into the rested cards on Elliott's field, and just kind of control that board.
Yeah. And we see Johan get the value from those event cards if he does choose to play his 9-drop SR. Those event cards would have been dead if he had just used the counters in hand to try and protect.
Absolutely.
And see the separation. Yeah, gets the value for those event cards while he's got the Don available. Because if he goes into the next turn with only 1 Don and 2 Radical Beams in hand, well, then he's got a dead card that isn't going to provide him much value. And now we see the boost of the Moby Dick come in.
And yeah, trying to clean up the board now, which makes sense. Elliott's leader is at 8. He might be able to go leader for lead here if you're Johan, since he's got nothing else available to swing at. And that's exactly what he's going to do. Make sure he didn't swing with his leader until Elliott actually did take those cards. So then that way... what?
Yeah, and this is it's a 10K because it gets the boost off the SR
Moby Dick as well. Yeah, of course. Wow.
Yeah.
3 cards out of Elliott's hand and then two bodies off the board. Not a bad turn here for Johan. And now he's still sitting at 8K health. 1 life available.
Yeah. And we see the Bartholomew block still there. It doesn't have the 2 Don available, so it can get popped by the SR, which is the reason that he played it the previous turn.
Yeah.
So perhaps we should have seen the block on the previous turn and saved one of those Radical Beams.
It is, but the thing is, that means Elliott can't play another 9-cost SR if he wants to get rid of that blocker. He'll then have to use 2 Don to put underneath his current Newgate SR, which then brings him down to 8, letting Johan know that he's not going to be playing the Whitebeard SR after that instead. So, going to be very interesting to see which path he wants to take here. And Elliott does have a 9-drop in hand. The question is that plan better than swinging with the one that's on board and getting rid of that blocker automatically?
Yeah, and what that does do is it means he doesn't have to take the life at this turn as well.
Correct.
If you don't want to not play the Whitebeard SR, have to take your life down to 1 and then deal with this board that's getting a boost from the Moby Dick.
And actually thinking about just opting to swing naked with Newgate into the Atmos, so not attaching any Don at all, because if he can get rid of some of these cards, I guess he might think to himself that, if he puts the pressure on and gets rid of the vanillas, he might still be able to play his 9-drop SR.
Mm-hmm.
And there you go, choosing to block.
The use of the block there. Yeah. And
because he's done that, Elliott feels like it's a better spot. And still going to go 8 into Atmos now. Yeah, deciding to clean the board up a little bit here. Johan trying to think to himself, if he does start clearing my board, what is left for me? Because Elliott is still on 2 life here.
Yeah, and 3 cards in hand. This is a tough one, whether you choose to commit to keep the Atmos alive. It is an AK swing that can pressure the lead, but
Mm,
it's going to cost you either 1 event card or 2 cards from hand. This is a tough one.
yeah, it's a very tough game here for Johan now, right? Like depending on what cards are in his hand, we haven't really seen much. If he has another 9 drop, I think Johan feels very comfortable not getting rid of any of these vanillas.
Yeah,
The question is, does he have it?
we've got the 1 Don available, so we can at best get to 12k with the Radical Beam.
Yep.
Everything getting the boost. And you need 3 attacks to get through to win. Is there any kind of allocation of Don that can get you there? It's difficult. It's very difficult to map that
Yeah.
out. It
I,
might.
I don't think you go all in trying to secure yourself like a win here or anything like that, because the minute you overcommit again, and we've seen Whitebeard players over and over and over again have 2000 combo power, 2000 combo power. There you go. There's the Radical Beam itself.
Yeah. And now all 3 of these attacks need to hit if you're going for game, and it'd be very difficult for Johan to survive a following turn with 2
Absolutely.
Whitebeards out.
Absolutely.
So now it's just about finding the right combination of math to make sure each of these attacks deal damage.
Yeah. And yeah, it's one of those things where I feel like if you're Johan here, I still think the right play, if you have it, is 9 for your another SR. Your leader will swing for 10. You still have your other SR that'll be able to swing too.
I don't think so. Not with 2 Whitebeards on Elliott's side. If he puts 5k, 5
There's one that's rested. Yeah. You're right.
With only having access to 1 active Don, it wouldn't be.
Yeah,
enough.
you're right. Well, in saying that, it really depends on what's in Johan's hand and if he actually needs those Don active, right? He does need to clear off Elliott's Whitebeard, but then if he doesn't end up playing his own SR, he takes that last point of life anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, Johan in a very difficult spot now, considering the board state of Elliott, the fact he's on 1 life, and staring down 2 Whitebeard SRs on the next turn.
Does Johan have a Whitebeard SR in hand?
I'm not sure. We haven't been able to see it.
If he had his own, he'd be able to play that, swing 10k later into the rested Whitebeard, and then swing 12k if he's not able to remove it again into the Whitebeard. It wouldn't take the life. There'd be the threat of the SR and leader to be able to push damage. It'd be very difficult, depending on the cards in hand, whether he can survive the 2 attacks.
We're going to find out here what his ideal plan is. Yeah, he's just going to go.
12k into the SR.
Gonna let it go. So no commitment here from Johan yet as well. Just going for it naked and being able to get rid of that is a very good feeling right now if you're Johan.
If you play the SR, you are tapped out though, because he's put a Don on.
Yeah, correct.
Oh, this is tough.
I've been saying it.
Yeah. That's 8. Yep, 9. He just realized that the 1 Don's under the King Dew.
Yep.
Oh, probably wishes he could have that 1 Don back.
He's holding it. He's really thinking here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got it right there, front facing.
I think it's probably your best chance to survive. And what Johan needs here is some kind of awkward allocation of Don. He needs to get out of one of these attacks, whether it's leader or the Whitebeard SR. I don't think we're going to see any Don put under the Robin or the Nami. and yeah, there's no value with swinging with
No,
the Atmos here. You
there
don't want to
really
give
is
them the
not.
extra card.
There really is not. I mean, Elliott feels super comfortable here. Uh, uh, I mean, he probably wants him to swing with the Atmos right now, to be quite honest with you, and he's going to as well. Gonna try and take him down to 1, and then next turn, if he doesn't play another SR, he'll be able to keep him on 0. Hoping that he gets another turn. Actually, let's put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
But here we go. This is the turn that Elliott makes it here, right? Like, okay, so your leader is on 8k. Johan's leader is on 8k. He's got 1 life left. He's got all his cards tapped out. Is he really trying? Like, he's trying to bait you into swinging into these cards, right? Johan wants you to swing into these bodies. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Johan wants you to swing into these bodies to give him another turn. But if you're Elliott, you can't be taking that bait. You need to go for game here.
I think that was 6 Don underneath leader, so it's a 12k attack. If he gets out of this, I think he wins. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I think that this will be game. Yep.
Wow.
He takes the 1. He leaves the 4 Don.
That's it. Johan's going to take this now. Going to attach 10 onto his Whitebeard SR, right? There's no question about it. That's it.
Yeah.
Wowee, Johan. Taking that one back from what looked like he was done for, and really identifying which turn and when to swing with his vanillas and to chip away at Elliott. That is wowee. That is crazy. That's one of the first times that I've actually seen Moby Dick put in so much work, I think, in some of these games, because again, not everyone's playing that package. A lot of people don't rate it. A lot of people don't like it at all. Same as Marco. Not many people are running that anymore because they feel like it's not the strongest. But Boat putting in so much work there, forcing him to combo multiple cards out of his hand that he didn't want to, getting rid of that hand advantage, and then being able to poke with these vanillas, but being able to keep your hand advantage was the strong point of that.
Yeah, and what the boat meant is that even under the Whitebeard SR boosting the leader to an 8k, everything was still able to attack to either deal damage or get cards out of hand with no Don investment. That 4-drop Atmos sat there and was continuously able to deal damage or get a card out of hand for that entire game. And Johan made the right decision to protect it and leave it on the field, as we saw as the game developed. But yeah, the big kind of pivotal turn was playing that second Whitebeard SR, tapping out from Johan and just having the Don available to be able to protect. If that attack had gone through, then it would have been very difficult for Johan to protect from a 13k or 14k swing from the Whitebeard.
All right, guys, that's going to be it from us for round number 6. It looks like there is about 10 minutes plus overtime left in this round. We will be back with round number 7. We've just got confirmation that there's going to be a total of 8 rounds. We are now 3/4 of the way through today. And don't forget, Top Cut will be tomorrow, roughly around the same time. We'll put the announcement out a little bit later to just give you guys a bit more of a heads up. But thank you so much, guys. Again, 10 to 15-minute break here before we get into round number 7. 2 more rounds left. And we'll see you very, very shortly. Stay tuned.